Okay, you guys, listen, before I even start, I need everybody watching right now to lock in, because tonight is genuinely shaping up to be one of those nights that people are going to be referencing for years, and somehow, the entire internet is acting like it's just another regular BET Awards weekend. It is not. It is so far from regular. And if you've been anywhere near your phone in the last 48 hours, you already know exactly who I'm talking about, because her name has been trending in every corner of every app, every comment section, every group chat, every barbershop conversation, every salon, every breakfast table, every late-night live stream. I'm talking about Cardi B. And the way this story is unfolding tonight, I genuinely believe we are watching the beginning of one of the most defining career moments of her entire run, and a lot of you are about to feel some kind of way once I break down what is actually going on behind the curtain. Now, here's the part that nobody is saying out loud. Everybody keeps zooming in on the performance. Everybody keeps zooming in on the outfit. Everybody keeps obsessing over what song Cardi B is about to bring to that stage. And don't get me wrong, that part matters, because she does not show up to an arena and play small. She does not walk onto a stage and tiptoe. She turns every appearance into a televised event. But the conversation about the performance is the surface layer. The real story is happening underneath all of that, and once I tell you what I just figured out, you're going to be looking at this entire BET Awards ceremony completely differently. Because while everybody else is busy theorizing about a costume change or a surprise guest, Cardi B is quietly walking into this building tonight as the single most nominated artist on the entire ballot. Let that sentence breathe for a second. Not one nomination. Not two. Not three. 6. 6 nominations. And when I pulled up the full list and actually went category by category, I had to sit back, close my laptop for a minute and process what I was looking at, because the math here is wild. Cardi is not just sitting in one comfortable pocket of the show. She is stretched across the entire program. Music, fashion, visual direction, performance, collaboration, viewer favorites, the works. This is not a one-trick night. This is a full-spectrum takeover, and I'm telling you, by the time the credits roll on this broadcast, the headlines tomorrow morning could read like a coronation. But before we go any deeper, let me catch up the people who have been logged off and living their lives. Cardi B's 6 nominations cover Album of the Year for Am I the Drama, Best Female Hip Hop Artist, Best Collaboration for the Airtime remix alongside Jeezy and Latto, the Viewer's Choice Award for Outside, Video Director of the Year shared with Patience Foster, and that brand new shiny Fashion Vanguard Award that everybody on Style Twitter has been arguing about for 2 weeks straight. Look at that lineup. Look at how diverse those categories are. That is not just a rap nomination sheet. That is a cultural map. The Bronx rapper is being recognized for the songs, the visuals, the styling, the fan engagement, and the industry impact all at the same time. That is a Beyoncé-shaped slate of nominations, and I'm not saying that lightly. And now, here's where my brain started really spinning, because I started looking at who Cardi B is actually competing against, and y'all, this is not one of those soft years. This is a stacked, blood in the water, no easy wins kind of ballot. For Album of the Year alone, she is in the same row as J. Cole, Tyler the Creator, Bruno Mars, Mariah the Scientist, Leon Thomas, Whale, and Clips. That is not a list. That is a battlefield. Every single one of those names dropped a project this year that moved the culture in a different direction, and the voters are going to have to make a choice that is going to anger somebody no matter what. So when I tell you Cardi B holding her own in that category is already a flex before the envelope even opens, I mean it. Then you slide over to Best Female Hip Hop Artist, and this is where the temperature really goes up. Megan Thee Stallion, Doja Cat, Latto, GloRilla, Doechii, Coi Leray. Every woman in that category had a moment this year. Every single one of them has had a top-tier run, a viral hit, a tour, a magazine cover, a controversy, a comeback, something. So if Cardi walks out of that arena tonight with that specific trophy, that is not just a casual W. That is a declaration. That is Cardi planting a flag and saying, you can all keep talking, I'm still the standard. Best collaboration is where things get really messy, and I'm being real with you, this is the one I'm the most nervous about. Airtime remix has the momentum, the streams, the chemistry, and the social media moments. But Cardi B is going up against songs featuring Kendrick Lamar, Burna Boy, Chris Brown, Usher, Bryson Tiller, Metro Boomin, and a list of other names that could fill an entire festival lineup. That is a stacked category. Anything can happen in there. Anything. So let me put my chips down, because I know somebody in the comments is already typing, B, just tell us who you think is winning. Okay, fine. Here's where I'm landing. I do not, and I mean do not, see the Bardigang's leader leaving this ceremony empty-handed. Not even a little bit. If I had to draw a realistic line, I would put her at somewhere between 2 and 3 trophies tonight. And listen, 2 to 3 would already be an incredible night for any artist, but for Cardi B specifically, it would be the kind of run that resets the entire conversation about her career trajectory. If I had to bet real money, my strongest pick for her would be Best Female Hip-Hop Artist. Historically, BET has consistently shown her serious love in that category. The voters know her. The audience knows her. The momentum is on her side. And when you're leading the entire ceremony in nominations, the energy in that room tends to move in your direction whether the politics like it or not. Album of the Year is also very much in play, because Am I the Drama did not move like a regular album release. People debated it. People streamed it. People made tweets, edits, reaction videos, breakdown podcasts, think pieces, and TikToks about it for months. Whether you loved that album, hated that album, or sat on the fence the entire rollout, you had an opinion on it, and that kind of cultural footprint is usually a winning sign at award shows. Best Collaboration, I'm leaving that one open. I'm not predicting it, I'm not denying it. I'm just saying buckle up. Now, here is where I have to slow down for a second, because there is another layer to this story that almost nobody is talking about, and I think it's actually the most important context of the entire night. Cardi B is not just walking into the BET Awards as a nominee. She is walking in as a comeback narrative. Think about it. Less than a year ago, the conversation around Cardi was completely different. People were openly questioning her musical timeline. People were openly asking whether she would ever drop another album. People were openly counting her out, openly comparing her to newer girls, openly writing little obituaries for her career in YouTube comment sections, and I saw every single one of them. I saw the takes. I saw the columns. I saw the so-called industry insiders with 300 followers acting like Cardi B was done. And then, Am I the Drama dropped. And the entire conversation flipped overnight. And then, Imaginary Players dropped, and people kept saying it was going to flop, and that song would not stop charting. Stop Playing With My Girl. Bardigang, we up. So when you put the comeback narrative on top of the 6 nominations on top of the performance slot on top of the brand new Fashion Vanguard recognition, you start to understand why I'm sitting here telling you tonight is not just another awards show. Tonight is a moment. Tonight is one of those nights that historians of pop culture, the real ones, the ones who study career arcs and chart cycles and brand moments, are going to circle on a calendar and say that, right there, that night, was the night her second chapter officially began. But here's the catch. Here's the part that's been keeping me up. Because in this industry, the higher the stakes get, the louder the noise gets, and Cardi B does not get to walk into this ceremony in a bubble. There are subplots. There are tensions. There is unfinished business. And every time Cardi has walked into a major televised event over the last few years, something has happened. A speech. A look. A reaction. A camera catch. A viral moment. Cardi B does not give boring television. She has never given boring television. Even when she sits down in her seat, the camera finds her. Even when she's just clapping, the clip goes viral the next morning. That's not luck. That's presence. That's a kind of star wattage you cannot teach. And the BET Award specifically, that stage, that venue, that audience, that history, that is the Bronx-born superstar's house. That's not me being a fan. That's the receipts. Go back and pull up her past BET moments. Pull up the entrances. Pull up the wins. Pull up the speeches. Pull up the performances. Cardi B and the BET Awards have a relationship. There is muscle memory there. There is energy in that building when she walks in. Now let me pivot, because I know you're sitting there wondering, okay, but who is actually about to give Cardi B a fight tonight? And I'm going to be real with you, the women's category is the one I keep coming back to in my head. Thee Stallion has had a steady year. Doja Cat is impossible to count out because she could win on pure unpredictability alone. Latto has been making noise and has been very publicly, very intentionally, putting her name in conversations she wants to be in. GloRilla has had her own viral runs. Doechii is the critical darling that critics keep trying to push as the future. Coi Leray is the dark horse that people forget about until the envelope opens. But none of them, and I mean none of them, are walking into that arena tonight with 6 nominations on their nameplate. None of them are headlining the performance slot. None of them have a brand new Fashion Vanguard nod attached to their year. The narrative momentum, the volume of recognition, the diversity of categories, all of that is sitting on her side of the table. So when I say I see her leaving with multiple trophies, I'm not pulling that out of thin air. I'm reading the room. Now, let's talk about the Fashion Vanguard Award real quick, because this is a category that I think is going to define the future direction of the BET Awards. They didn't add this award by accident. They added it because the line between music and fashion in our culture has completely dissolved, and Cardi B is one of the artists who actually helped dissolve it. From front row at Paris Fashion Week, to the magazine covers, to the custom looks, to the partnerships, to the way she single-handedly turns every red carpet into a content cycle, Cardi has been doing the fashion as storytelling thing for years. So putting her in the very first class of Fashion Vanguard nominees, that is not symbolic. That is canon. That is the BET Award saying, on the record, Cardi B is one of the people who shaped this lane. And to be even more honest with you, I think the Fashion Vanguard category is going to be one of the most watched categories of the night, because the conversation around fashion and black culture has been heating up in a major way. So whoever wins that award is going to walk out of that building with a brand new title attached to their name, and I would not be shocked, if the rapper is the one holding it. Here is the other piece, and I want you to really sit with this. The Viewer's Choice Award is the only category where the fans themselves actually decide. Not the voters. Not the panel. The fans. And let me tell you something about Cardi B's fans. The Bardigang does not lose. The Bardigang does not sleep. The Bardigang does not take days off. If you have ever been involved in a comment section war involving her, you already know exactly what I'm talking about. So when Outside is on the Viewer's Choice ballot, I'm not even worried. I'm not. I'm flat out telling you, the Bardigang has already made their decision, and they're going to make sure their girl gets that trophy. Mark it down. Then there's Video Director of the Year, which is shared with Patience Foster. And I love that this category exists, because it actually pulls back the curtain on the people who shape the visual identity of these artists. Patience Foster is one of the most respected visual minds working with artists at this level right now, and her partnership with Cardi B has been producing the kind of music videos that get studied frame by frame on YouTube the morning after they drop. Sharing a video director nomination is one of those honors that does not always make the trending tabs the next day, but inside the industry, that is the kind of nomination that makes other people's careers move. Now, let me give you something interesting to think about. 6 nominations is a number that comes with pressure. The wins matter, but so does how she carries herself if a category does not break her way. Because the cameras are going to be on her the entire night. Every announcement. Every category. Every result. And Cardi knows that. She is not a rookie. She has been in this game for years now. She knows that the second the envelope opens, the camera is going to cut to her face, regardless of who actually wins. That kind of veteran awareness is the difference between a star and a moment. And Cardi B is a star. Speaking of stars, let's talk about the performance for a second, because I know the comments are about to be screaming about it. We do not know exactly what she is bringing to that stage yet. We do not know if it's going to be a single song. We do not know if it's going to be a medley. We do not know if she's pulling in surprise guests. We do not know if she's going to sample any of the Little Miss Drama tour energy. And honestly, that not knowing is the entire fun of it. Because she has built her career on the surprise. She has built her career on showing up in a way nobody saw coming. So whatever she walks out with tonight, I'm betting it is engineered to be a moment. Will she bring out a feature? Will she bring out a tribute? Will she bring out a costume change? Will she bring out a marching band? Will she walk out and do the entire performance in Spanish like she's been hinting at in interviews? Will she lean into the visual world of Am I the Drama? Will she debut something nobody has heard yet? Every single one of those questions is a possibility, and that is exactly the kind of buzz this stage was built for. Now, I want to flag something else for everybody, because I'm seeing it in the comments already. There has been a lot of conversation about the women's rap landscape over the last 12 months, and a lot of that conversation has been framed in a very specific way, like there can only be one. Like there's only one chair at the table. And tonight, what Cardi B is doing, whether she walks out with 1 trophy or 4, is challenging that frame. Because the truth is, hip-hop is big enough for all of them. Megan can win. Doja can win. Latto can win. GloRilla can win. Doechii can win. Coi Leray can win. The wins do not have to be subtractive. But what the Bronx rapper is doing tonight, 6 nominations across 6 different lanes, is the kind of multi-lane dominance that reminds everybody, oh, right, this is a woman who can do all of it. Not just one of it. All of it. And honestly, that's why I think tonight matters so much. Because in a year where the discourse has been trying to box every artist into a single category, into a single style, into a single demographic, Cardi B is showing up with a ballot that says nope, I am everywhere. Let me pull back the camera for a minute, because I want to talk about the bigger picture. Because the BET Awards, historically, are not just an awards show. They are a generational marker. They are the night where black culture gets its formal portrait taken. The performances, the speeches, the looks, the reunions, the surprise tributes, all of it gets stitched into the long tape of black music history. And whoever leaves that ceremony with the most hardware on a given night ends up becoming part of that tape forever. So when Cardi is sitting at 6 nominations, what is actually on the table is not just the trophies. It is the long-tail historical positioning. It is the place in the highlight reel that BET cuts together every 5 years. It is the gift that will get reused for a decade. And that is the part one do not think anybody is talking about with enough seriousness. Cardi B is not just running for trophies tonight. She is running for the highlight reel. She is running for the GIF. She is running for the place in the long memory of black music television. And once you start looking at it through that lens, 6 nominations starts to feel like the table is being set on purpose. Now, I do want to take a quick beat and acknowledge something else, because every time I cover a moment this big, somebody in the comments says, B, you're being too positive, what about the haters? Okay. Cool. Let's address it. Yes, the haters exist. Yes, the timeline is going to be split. Yes, the second her name gets called for any trophy tonight, there is going to be a wave of takes that say she did not deserve it, that the category was stacked, that somebody else was robbed, that the voting was political. That is going to happen. That is going to happen with every single artist who wins anything tonight. That is the cost of doing business at this level. But here's the difference. Cardi B has been weathering that storm for years. She does not crack under it. She does not run from it. She walks into it with a microphone, and she has built one of the most loyal fanbases in modern hip-hop precisely because she shows up exactly as she is. So if there is a backlash wave tonight, it is going to break against a wall that has been getting reinforced for years. And the wall is not moving. Let me give you another quick angle, because I want to keep us layered. The way Cardi has been managing her rollout this entire album cycle has been textbook. Think about it. She has been dropping content in a way that keeps the conversation flowing without ever flooding the timeline. She has been picking her interviews carefully. She has been letting the music breathe. She has been letting the visuals carry. She has been letting the tour create its own moments. And then, right when the chatter starts to plateau, boom, a new wave hits. A new feature. A new outfit. A new statement. A new clip. A new clapback. The pacing has been almost surgical. And whether that is intentional on her part, or whether her team has been quietly executing one of the smartest album cycle playbooks in recent memory, the result is the same. Cardi B has been the main character of the rap conversation for months. And the BET Awards tonight are landing right in the middle of that pace. Right at the perfect moment. Right when the cycle is at peak volume. That is not a coincidence. That is timing. That is the kind of timing that only happens when you have a team behind you that knows exactly what they are doing. Now, I do want to take a second to drop a personal opinion in here, because some of you have been asking for it. The Fashion Vanguard Award is the one I would actually be the most emotional about if the Grammy winner took it home. And I'll tell you why. Because the conversation around Cardi B's fashion sense, especially in the early years of her career, was disrespectful. Let's not rewrite history. There were entire panels, entire columns, entire magazines that wrote her off as somebody who would never be taken seriously in the fashion world. Then she walked into Paris. Then she walked into Milan. Then she sat front row at houses that, 10 years ago, would not have returned her email. And she did it without ever pretending to be somebody she wasn't. That is the part that should be respected. Cardi B did not gain access to the fashion world by changing her voice, changing her style, changing her hair, changing her language, or changing her audience. She walked in as herself. And she made the world adjust. So if BET puts that Fashion Vanguard trophy in her hand tonight, that is more than an award. That is a formal industry receipt that says, on the record, we acknowledge what she did, and we are putting it in the books. I'm not going to lie. I might tear up a little. I'm just being real. Okay, but pivot back. Because I do not want anybody walking away from this thinking I'm just a fan with my pom-poms out. I want to be balanced. So let me give you the realistic counter. What if she walks out of that arena tonight with only one trophy? Or even 0? Could that happen? Technically, yes, anything is possible at a live ceremony. The voting is what it is. Surprises happen. Upsets happen. We have seen artists with massive nomination counts walk out empty-handed before. The math does not always go the way the headlines predict. But here's the thing. Even in a worst-case scenario, where Cardi B's name is somehow not on a single envelope, the impact is not erased. Because 6 nominations alone is a story. Headlining the performance slot is a story. Sitting in that room as the most recognized artist on the ballot is a story. Cardi does not need to win every category for tonight to matter. Tonight already matters. The trophies are the icing. The cake was already baked. And here is something else I want to plant in your head before we close this segment out, because I know some of you are going to be debating this in the comments. The way Cardi B has been talking about her career lately has not been the way somebody at the top of a cycle usually talks. She has been speaking like somebody who is just getting started. She has been talking about new music, new genres, new directions, new collaborations, new business ventures, new visuals, new aesthetics, new everything. That is not the energy of somebody trying to ride out a final wave. That is the energy of somebody building chapter 2, 3, and 4 at the same time. So when you put all of this together, tonight is not the ending of a story arc, tonight is the midpoint. Tonight is the bridge between her first major era and whatever the second one is about to be. And that is why I keep telling you, the trophies are important, yes, but they are not the headline. The headline is the positioning. Okay, let me address the rumor mill, because there's been a lot of chatter floating around the internet about possible appearances tonight. People are saying she might bring out a surprise feature. People are saying she might do a tribute moment. People are saying she might address the discourse from earlier this year directly on the stage. People are saying she might roll out a new collaboration nobody saw coming. And to be clear, none of this is confirmed. None of it. So do not run to the comments with any of this as fact. But the volume of the speculation alone tells you exactly how big this performance has become. And by the way, that speculation works in her favor. Because every theory that gets posted on a fan page, every breakdown that drops on a T channel, every TikTok that gets stitched, every Twitter thread that gets shared, every Instagram caption that mentions her name, that is all unpaid promotion that is pushing this ceremony's viewership numbers higher. Cardi B's mere presence on this ballot is moving the needle for the entire show. That kind of cultural gravity, you cannot script. You cannot manufacture. You cannot pay for. You have to earn it. And Cardi has earned it. Now, before I let you go, I want to put one more thought in your head. Because the most underrated story about tonight is not even about the categories. It's about the diaspora. The BET Awards are a global broadcast now. They get watched in living rooms in Atlanta and Lagos and London and Toronto and Kingston and Johannesburg and Paris and Sao Paulo. So whatever happens on that stage tonight is going to ripple internationally. And Cardi B has been building international presence for the last few years in a quiet, deliberate way. The features. The fashion moments. The interviews. The press in Spanish. The press in French. The connections to the Caribbean. The references to her Dominican and Trinidadian roots. She has been laying down a global foundation that is going to pay off in ways the casual viewer has not even started to clock yet. And the BET Awards tonight is one of the platforms where that foundation gets reinforced. So when she walks out on that stage, she is not just performing for the people in that arena. She is performing for everyone watching from every country. That is a big swing. That is a real swing. And the Bardigang Queen has been preparing for it for years. Now, let me bring in one more layer that I really want everybody to think about, because this is the kind of context that the morning show recaps are not going to give you. The BET Awards as an institution have always been one of the few stages where hip-hop's women specifically get a true spotlight. Pull the tape. Go back across years and years of broadcasts. Some of the most defining moments in women's rap history happened on that exact stage. Acceptance speeches that turned into manifestos. Performances that ended decade-long debates. Tributes that rewrote the record. So when Cardi B walks into that building tonight with 6 nominations in her hand, she is not just stepping onto a stage. She is stepping into a lineage. She is walking into the same lighting rig that has lit up some of the most important black women in modern music. And whether or not she takes home a single trophy, just being on that ballot in that number is already lineage work. And here is the thing about lineage. It is not given. It is not handed out. It is not assigned in a memo. It is earned, sometimes painfully, sometimes loudly, sometimes through years of being underestimated. Cardi has earned hers the hard way. From the early days, from the come-up, from the moments when people said she would never have a second album, from the moments when people said she could never headline a tour, from the moments when the same outlets that praise her now were busy questioning her. Every single one of those chapters is built into the foundation of tonight. So when you see her walk that carpet in the next few hours, do not just see the dress. See the receipts. See the years. See the work. See the come-up. See the comeback. See the chapters that did not get a network special. All of that is in the room with her. And while we are on the subject of the carpet, let me drop one more prediction that I am going to put on the record right now so you can quote me when it happens. The look that Cardi pulls up in tonight is going to dominate fashion news for the next 48 hours, minimum. I am not guessing. I am calling it. Whatever she walks out wearing, the styling team has been working on it for weeks, and they know exactly what kind of moment they are trying to engineer. Fashion editors are already on standby. Magazine cover slots are already loosely held depending on what she pulls up in. The Fashion Vanguard nod is not just a category. It is a green light for the entire industry to treat her style choices as headline-worthy news. So expect the look to be loud. Expect it to be specific. Expect it to be a story. Also, let me say this out loud, because I have been holding it in. The Bardigang energy tonight on social media is about to be unmatched. I have been monitoring the timeline. I have been reading the threads. I have been watching the fan accounts go to work. The mobilization is real. Predictions threads are being drafted. Reaction templates are being staged. Outfit theory accounts are heating up. Lyric edits are being pre-rendered. By the time the broadcast starts, the timeline is going to be a Bardigang takeover, and the algorithm is going to feel it. That kind of organized fan energy is what separates a moment from a movement, and the Bardigang has been operating like a movement for years now. Tonight is just another deployment. And one quick aside for anybody new to this conversation. If you are not super familiar with how loyal Cardi's fan base is, let me give a small example. Whenever she drops anything, the streams move in real time, the comments flood in real time, the metrics tick up in real time, the trending pages flip in real time, the cross-platform engagement explodes. That is not luck. That is community. That is a fan base that has decided, collectively, to show up every single time. And that kind of community engagement is exactly what the algorithm rewards on a night like tonight. So if you see her name everywhere tomorrow morning, that is not by accident. That is the gang. Okay, I promised one more layer, so here it is. There is a quiet conversation happening inside the industry right now about what the next era of women in hip-hop looks like. Who leads it? Who shapes it? Who carries it forward? And tonight is going to add a major data point to that conversation. Because the artist who walks out of that arena with the most hardware is going to walk into Monday morning meetings, label sit-downs, magazine pitches, and brand conversations with a brand new title attached to her name. The trophies are not just trophies. They are leverage. They are negotiating power. They are tomorrow's deals. So when I say tonight matters, I mean it matters past the cameras. Look, I know I've been talking for a minute, so let me bring this in for a landing. Tonight is one of those nights where everything is on the line and nothing has to be. It is one of those nights where the trophies are real but the legacy moments are bigger. It is one of those nights where every camera in that building is going to be looking for Cardi B no matter what category is being announced. And whether she takes home 1 trophy, 3 trophies, or all 6, by the time we are sitting on the couch tomorrow morning with our coffee scrolling through the recap clips, her name is going to be at the top of the feed. I promise you that. So here is what I want from you. I want you to drop your honest, no cap, no clout chasing prediction in the comments below. How many trophies do you actually think Cardi B is walking out with tonight? Are we looking at 2? Are we looking at 3? Are we looking at 4? Or do you think the night belongs to somebody else and we are about to witness an upset? Tell me. I want to read every single one. And while you're down there, drop your prediction for the performance too. What song is she opening with? Is she pulling a guest out of the curtain? Is she switching outfits? Is she bringing the Little Miss Drama Tour energy onto that stage? Or is she debuting something brand new that's about to start the next album cycle? Lay it all out. I'll be reading. And after the BET Awards finish, I'll be right back here on this channel breaking down every single category, every single speech, every single performance, every single reaction face, every single red carpet look, every single backstage moment, and every single piece of celebrity tea that comes out of the night. So if you have not already hit that subscribe button, you already know what to do, because there is going to be a lot to discuss in the morning. Bardigang, we up. We have been up. We are staying up. And if you're new here, welcome. You're going to want to be in the comments tonight, because it is about to be moving. I'll catch you in the next one. Now, before I officially wrap, let me bring it back to one specific moment, because I keep replaying it in my head. Last year, when the BET Awards aired, there was a moment where Cardi looked into the camera and said, in her own way, that she was coming back. That she was loading up. That the next era was being built. And a lot of people, myself included, took it as a fun line. A confident moment. A typical Cardi B statement. But sitting here today, with 6 nominations on the ballot in front of me, that line hits completely differently. Because she was not playing. She told us. She actually told us. And we are watching her execute it in real time tonight. That is the thing about the Bronx star that the doubters have never quite figured out. She always tells you what she is going to do. She has always told you. The clips are out there. The interviews are out there. The lyrics are out there. The statements are out there. She tells you, on the record, what is coming. And then, when it lands, somehow the same people who refuse to listen are the loudest ones acting shocked. Cardi B has been telling us this exact moment was coming. 6 nominations. Performance slot. Fashion Vanguard. Comeback narrative. Multi-lane dominance. She said the words. She put it on tape. She delivered. The receipts are loud. So when somebody in your group chat asks tomorrow morning, did anybody actually see this run coming, you can tell them, yes. We saw it. The fans saw it. The Bardigang saw it. The believers saw it. She told us herself. The only people who missed it were the people who chose to miss it. And listen, I'm not saying this to throw shade at anybody. I'm saying it because it matters. Because in a culture where artists are constantly being told to prove themselves over and over again, watching Cardi B walk into the BET Awards tonight with 6 nominations is the kind of receipt that should remind everybody, the work was always being done. The proof was always there. The doubters just refused to read it. Alright, I'm going to give you the final word. Tonight, my heart is on Team Cardi. My energy is on Team Cardi B. My predictions are on Team Cardi. And if she walks out of that arena holding 3 trophies, I'm going to be the loudest person in my living room. If she walks out holding 2, I'm going to be loud. If she walks out holding one, I'm going to be loud. And if, somehow, she walks out holding all 6, I'm going to be in a different time zone. Because that would be one of the biggest sweeps the BET Awards have seen in years. So tune in. Watch every category. Watch every performance. Watch every reaction. Watch every camera cut. And meet me back here in the morning so we can break it all down piece by piece. Comments open. Predictions welcome. Bardigang, stay tapped in. I love you all. I'll talk to you later. Peace. Oh, and one more thing before I really sign off, because I know somebody is going to ask in the comments. Yes, I will be watching live. Yes, I will be live reacting on my second screen. Yes, I will be screenshotting every iconic moment. And yes, the breakdown video is already on the schedule for the morning. So if you do not want to miss any of it, this is your gentle, friendly, very loving reminder to turn those notifications on. Because once that ceremony ends, the recap energy on this channel is going to be unmatched. We are going to be moving frame by frame. Speech by speech. Outfit by outfit. Reaction by reaction. Camera angle by camera angle. And if Cardi B has the kind of night I think she is about to have, we are going to be talking about this for weeks. Not days. Weeks. Because that is what happens when a moment is actually a moment. The discourse does not end at the end credits. The discourse keeps going. It moves to TikTok. It moves to Twitter. It moves to Instagram. It moves to the morning shows. It moves to the late night shows. It moves to the podcasts. It moves to the hairdresser. It moves to the function. It moves to the family group chat. The conversation extends. So if you want to be in the front row of that extended conversation, you already know what to do. Hit subscribe. Drop your prediction. Set your notifications. And meet me back here for the recap. Bardigang, we are up. The girls are up. The culture is up. The night is up. And tomorrow morning, we are going to be loud about all of it. Alright, that's it for me. Tune in, lock in, and let's witness one of the biggest BET Awards nights for Cardi B together. I'll catch you in the recap. Peace.